Okay, we are going to begin going through with Pythagorean theorem questions. The first type of question that you'll see gives you a picture. Let's look at this example. A ladder leans against the side of a house. The top of the ladder is 12 feet from the ground. The bottom of the ladder is 10 feet from the side of the house. Find the length of the ladder. If necessary, round to the nearest tenth. So with this question, you have to first thing be very, very careful about what information they're giving and what you need. So I'm going to redraw the triangle in question here, just so that I can ignore the parts of the picture that don't make a difference. You don't want anything to distract you from the task. So first thing is very important to make sure that you identify with our Pythagorean theorem. We have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. The two numbers you're given are not always guaranteed to be the A and the B. So be very careful. That's the number one problem, is people just stick the two numbers they have into the A and the B. Don't forget that the two legs attached to the right angle are your A and your B. The side that is diagonal, that is across from the right angle, is your C. So keep that in mind. So all I'm going to do is my 12 and my 10 are the A and the B. The order does not matter. So I get 12 squared plus 10 squared equals C squared. Start working out my calculations. And I get 244 equals C squared. I don't want C squared, I want C. So I've got to find the square root of each of these. Square root of 244 is going to be 15.6204. Now my directions tell me to round to the nearest tenth. So that means this 2 is either going to round up or stay 2. I look to the right. That 0 is going to tell my 2 to stay. So my answer is 15.62 feet. Because we're finding distance, it's not feet squared or cubed, it's just straight feet. Next up, for the following right triangle, find the side length of x. So again, first thing we're going to do is locate this right angle. A and B are attached. C is across. So C, my hypotenuse, is across from the right angle. Again, do not always assume that the A and the B are the only numbers they give you. So I get 16 squared plus 12 squared equals C. 16 squared is 256 plus 144 this is C squared, equals C squared. So I get 400 equals C squared. Square root both sides. Now my directions don't say anything about rounding, so you can pretty much figure that your answer will be a whole number. So my answer is 20. Next up, for the following right triangle, find the side length of x, round to the nearest hundredth. So again, I have a squared plus b squared equals c squared. Now, do not assume that the two sides that you get are automatically the a and the b. The right angle tells us which is a, which is b, and which is c. The two sides attached are my a and my b. The side across is my c. Then I'll substitute. 8 squared plus x squared equals 10 squared. If you don't put your numbers in the right spot, you're guaranteed wrong. It's as simple as that. So I start simplifying everything. I get 64 plus x squared equals 100. Now I need to find what x is, but to find x, I need to get x squared by itself first. So I'm going to solve the equation. I get x squared equals 36. Find the square root of both sides. X equals 6. Next up, I'm not going to do this whole problem. I'm just going to explain how we'll do this, and we'll do two of them. Determine whether a triangle with the given side lengths is a right triangle. So this is the converse of the Pythagorean theorem. This is where we work backwards. Pythagorean theorem says, if you have a right triangle, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. With the converse, what we say is, if you give me three sides and I can put them into the a squared plus b squared equals c squared formula, and the left side equals the right side, then that means it's a right triangle. Here's what I mean. If a squared plus b squared does equal c squared, it is a right, oh, that just smashed everything. That means it's a right triangle. Okay. We have to test that out with the numbers that were given. Now, on your test, this will be worth 4 points. This is 1 point, 1 point, 1 point, and 1 point. So this is like 4 questions in one. So be aware of that. So what we're going to do is we'll take our first set of numbers, and I'm going to plug them into the formula. Now, one thing you need to know is on our right triangle, your hypotenuse right here is the longest side. So the hypotenuse is the longest side. So when you're looking at this, if my hypotenuse is the longest side, that's my C. So there are my A, B, and C. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to just substitute A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Now, I do not know if this is correct, but we'll see what happens. 25 plus 121 equals 144. Maybe. 25 plus 121 is 146. Do those two equal each other? Nope. Because they do not, this is not a right triangle. Let's try the next one. My longest side is the C, and the other two are my A and B. With A and B, the order does not matter. So 27 squared plus 36 squared equals 45 squared. This is definitely a calculator necessary here. 27 squared is 729. Oops. Plus 36 squared is 2025. Remember, we do not know if it's equal. And 45, oops. Hold on a second. 45 times 45 is 2025. I typed that wrong. So now let's try 36 times 36. That's better. 1,296. Okay. Definitely double check yourself, especially with these big numbers, like I did. All right, so I'm going to add the left-hand side. Remember, we do not know if they're equal. Now we do, though. 2025 does equal 2025. Yes, they do. So yes, it's a right triangle. So that's the process that you're going to go through for this problem. Okay, next up, distance on a grid. Find the distance between the points A and B. So you have a couple options with this. Your best bet is to grab a piece of graph paper. There's no X and Y coordinate on here, so you really don't have to count anything specific other than what I would do on your graph paper is I would plot the point A and label it A. Then to figure out B, I would count. I would say I'm going down 1, 2, and to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I would count out the units to get over to the B. I would plot that B and then connect my points. Okay, so drawing a picture is your best bet. Honestly, if you just try to eyeball it, I've seen way too many people eyeball wrong. So draw the thing out. This is a very easy problem, and if you mess up the count, that's insane. Take your time, write it out, and get it correct. So what you notice is as I counted to go from A to B, I went down 2, and I went to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And by doing that, I actually got the two sides, the lengths of the legs for my triangle. Now, because I went horizontal and vertical, I have a right angle here. So that means to find this mystery length, I can use the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. 4 plus 25 equals C squared. 29 equals C squared. Square root both sides. Check your instructions to see what the rounding situation is. Round to the nearest hundredth. So the square root of 29 is 5.38516 equals C. Now for rounding, we want to go to the hundredths place. So my 5 is going to tell my 8 to do what? Hopefully you said round up. So my distance is 5 and 39 hundredths. And that's it.